Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul. I'm your host, Tisha Michelle. Okay, so you know how I like to get started by expressing a little bit of gratitude. So in this present moment, I am grateful that I made it through that surgery that I just recently had. So I'm definitely going to be touching more on this in this episode, but I am really expressing that gratitude because anytime you have if you've ever had a surgery before and you're being put under, meaning going through anesthesia, there's always that little, I don't want to say like fear, but I guess, fear of what's going to happen. Am I going to wake up? Gratefully this time, I knew that I would wake up, but there have been plenty of times before where I've had a couple of surgeries throughout my life that I would always worry, like, what if I didn't wake up? Like, how would my kids feel? And blah, 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 blah. So this time it wasn't really too much of that, but I'm not going to lie, it did kind of like cross my mind. So I'm grateful. Obviously, I woke up because I'm here recording with you guys. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that. So now your turn. Unless you are driving, go ahead and close your eyes and let's just center ourselves, ground ourselves. And I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And we're going to go ahead and just take a nice deep breath, breathing in through your nose. Just letting it out through your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more. Nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. That just always feels good to just center and ground yourself. So your turn. What are you grateful for? In this present moment, what are you grateful for? And don't be afraid to go deep. Doesn't have to be, the house and kids and family, which are all wonderful things to be grateful for. And that's what you're grateful for. Amazing. I'm just saying, don't be afraid to, dig a little deep, scan through your life, scan through your day, scan through yesterday. Was there a unexpected conversation you may have had with someone that really kind of put some different things into perspective? Are you grateful for that? But whatever you're grateful for, just express it. Express that gratitude. All right. So I wanted to, if you have been listening, you heard me talk about saying that I was going to be having surgery on my shoulder. So I was sitting on the bed in pain, and I was also restless because I've just been sleeping off and on. And when I say off and on, I have been waking up every single hour just because of the pain in my arm, and I've just been restless. So I was sitting there just restless, what do I do with myself? And I was like, you know what, let me channel this energy and just hop on here and record a podcast episode and talk to you guys about my experience. So I did have this surgery on August 27th on my left shoulder, and I'm not going to lie, this shit really hurts. I'm not a big medicine person at all. I never have been, even before my journey. I don't like the way that it makes you feel. It makes you feel like not yourself, and then it has side effects. You could feel nauseous and I just can't do any of that stuff. So you can slide in a Tylenol or ibuprofen here and there, but what they actually gave me was Percocets, and I was like, you can just kind of save that prescription because I'm not going to fill it. I would not do any Percocets. And the doctor was like, are you sure? He was like, we do it electronically, and, it's about to be the weekend, and I'd rather you just have it. I was like, okay, whatever, as long as you're not giving it to me right now. And he was like, oh, no. So, of course he sent it over to them. But I'm like, yeah, I just can't do that. But I didn't realize, not that I didn't realize, they didn't tell me this until I was already there and getting prepped and stuff, that they would be putting a blocker in. And that's what they were doing was, they put it in through my neck, which goes down to the left arm. And basically, I wouldn't have no feeling at all in that arm, that hand. And I didn't know this until like 20 minutes before they were going to do that. So they did that. And then, of course, I had to go under with the anesthesia. But what that did was made it that I had no feeling, like I said, in that arm and that hand. And that was like the scariest shit ever. So, I come through and I had to stay in the recovery for a little bit longer because I got nauseous and also my blood pressure had dropped. So they wanted the nausea to go away, which, shout out to them, I thought was really cool, was that even though I was half out of it, when I was telling them I was nauseous, what they were doing was having me take deep breaths, smelling peppermint essential oil. So I like that because, I'm all about the natural and the holistic, right? So they had me doing that, and they wanted to wait until my blood pressure was to come up some before they would release me. So it did. It did. So anyway, that whole arm and hand, it was a dead arm, like just dead. I couldn't feel nothing. I couldn't move it. It was just there. I had to take my other hand to like lift it up. They have me in what is it called? A mobilizer. So that was scary. So even though I'm like out of it, all I wanted to do was just go to sleep. So I get, to my mom's house and I go to sleep, and then I like pop up because I have to use the bathroom so bad because they're giving you an IV. So it's like all those hours of just pumping me IV. It was ready to come out. And I go to the bathroom and I'm like, struggling to get there. And I'm just looking at my hand and it's just dead. And it was so awful because for 18 hours, I had no feeling at all in that arm or that hand. And it was just there. And it was a psychological thing, was like, what if it doesn't come back? What if that feeling doesn't come back? What if my arm is stuck like this? Oh my gosh. And they always say, like, I could only imagine what it's like to be paralyzed. And for the most part, for 18 hours, because there was no feeling. And it was an awful feeling. And my heart just goes out to those who, what really actually crossed my mind was with Jacob being the most recent one, shot 7 times, and they saying that he was paralyzed. And I'm like, I can only imagine. And I'm like, well, for 18 hours, that's how my arm was. And just in that short period of time, it was awful. And my psyche, my psychological part was like, yo, this will make you go freaking crazy. So, I felt even more than I normally would because I'm like, I get that. Like, I don't even really know what to even really say about that other than like, my heart goes out to those who have been or are, paralyzed and just have a dead arm or dead leg or everything from the waist down or whatever. Yeah. So after that, I started to get a little bit of feeling in my hand. I was like, oh God, thank you, Jesus. And it was feeling warm. I was able to move my fingers a little bit. And then I knew all of the feeling was back because this is when the real pain started kicking in. So now I'm feeling everything and it hurts. And then the people around me are like, oh, do you want to take your medicine? No, I'm not taking that medicine. And I'm like, I'm a big believer in you must feel in order to heal. And I share this with my clients, and I'm probably even talked about it on a podcast when we talked about emotions, I'm like, in order to truly heal, you must feel it, right? And the same thing goes with the physical aspect. If I stay pumped up on medicine and stuff, how am I going to actually really know that I'm healed? How am I going to actually really know that I'm even feeling better if I have so much medicine that's just masking like that, that pain and stuff? And I'm like, no, I need to, and I did take Tylenol, but for one, my belief is that Tylenol doesn't work. So I already have that strong belief. So every time I took the Tylenol, of course it wasn't going to work because that's what it was that I believed, right? So I'm like feeling all this pain and I'm like, this shit hurts. And you really don't realize how much you use your non-dominant hand until you hurt it. Right? And I'm like, wow, even just doing things, even just like bending down to the right, you can still feel it pull a muscle that's on the left. And I'm like, what? I'm using my right hand, my right side. Like, what is going on? Right? So, yeah, so I'm feeling all this stuff, feeling pain and it's hurting. And I was like, you know what? I could do a self-hypnosis to relieve the pain. And I find one and I'm listening to it, and it's all around your body being like a tranquilizer. Like your whole body is just so relaxed that it feels paralyzed, right? And I was like, okay, I'm a hypnotist, so I'm all about hypnosis, and all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So I'm very receptive to it. And I was getting very, very relaxed. Then I started to feel a lot of resistance, and I'm like, why is this not working? And then I realized what it was. It was because of the hypnosis that I was listening to was relating it to being paralyzed. And that was a fear because I had just, experienced with my arm like that. So there was that fear in there. So I was blocking that. So I was like, oh no, I can't listen to this one. So I had to get off of that one and listen to another one. And I was listening to that one and it was getting me pretty relaxed and I was able to fall asleep. But, then it was over, right? So when I woke up, I was like, yikes. So just trying just different things, right? And I know, again, in order to heal, we must feel, right? So I'm feeling the pain. And then I'm remembering, the mind, body, and soul is all connected. It's all one, right? And in order to even when you're physically have these physical pain, you need to relax. You have to relax your body. And I realized that like my left side was still tense because for whatever reason, I wasn't able to really relax, but you also have to relax your mind. So that's the not focusing on the things that you have to do or anything of that sort. So I'm like, okay, that's what it is. I really need to relax, right? And kind of trying to shut the mind down from all the stuff I, thinking I need to do, even though before the surgery, I took care of a lot of stuff because I was like, I don't want to really have to focus on that. But then you still have things that just come up and all that, right? So, all right, sorry guys, I had to drink something. So if you ever had like surgery, they put the little, they're putting like a little tube down your throat and stuff, and that should be having your throat all sore and itchy and all this foolishness. So I'm like constantly trying to keep my throat, moist and wet and all. Anyhow, so yeah, so it hurt. Bottom line, this shit hurt, but I'm doing what I can to really like relieve the pain in the most natural way, and knowing that I can heal myself just like you can heal yourself. It does take a lot. And when I say it takes a lot, it's like the mental aspect of it. But anyhow, when I was sitting there and I was restless and I was like, you know what, let me get on here and let me talk to you guys. So what I really wanted to talk to you guys about was, you've heard me a lot of times talk about surrendering, right? Really just surrendering and just letting go and trusting and flowing, right? So I looked at it like this. I was like, wow, you're going to have surgery and you have all these people, these doctors and the nurses and whoever else, the anesthesiologists, and all those different people that are playing their part. And you know that you're going to have surgery for whatever reason is. And you are just trusting that they know what they're doing and they're just going to do it, especially if you have to be put under because you are not aware of what is going on. So you have to fully surrender and trusting into these people, right? So as I'm laying there, I always call in general, but then I call in protection. I call in Archangel Michael and I was like, protect me. Place your white ring of light of protection around me and around everyone that is involved in this surgery. But I also called in my spirit guides and my guardian angels, but I called into them to not only just, put that protection up there, but to work with these doctors, because they are also human, right? So to work with them for my highest good. And I had to just surrender, right? And just trust that everybody was going to do their part and everything was going to work out for my highest good, right? So when you really think about it, when we try to control things in this situation, we try to put our hands in it. Well, how is it going to happen? Well, what is this like? Well, when is it going to be? This, and this, right? But when you're laying and you're getting ready to have surgery, you're not going to pop back up and say, wait, well, where are you going to put that? Okay, what are you going to do again? Are you sure that that's right? Well, how is that going to happen? Because that doesn't really make much sense to me. No, it's not. You are just surrendering and you are trusting that these doctors, these surgeons are going to do everything possible for your highest good, whatever that is, right? So I don't know if you've ever had surgery, and if you have, you can definitely relate to say that you just had to just trust and surrender, and look at you now, you're fine, right? That's what it is like when we're going through this journey called life, and we're here, having these experiences and experimenting, right? We get to a place where we're like, all right, I'm going to do this, right? And whatever this is. And then you keep hearing like, you just need to let go. You just need to surrender. You just need to trust the process. And you're like, what does that even mean? How do I do that? It's just like that. You just say, you know what? I'm going to trust that the universe has my back. I am going to trust that everything is going to work out for my highest good. And I am not going to try to control and manipulate anything and cause all this stress to myself or whatever you want to call it. But I'm just going to surrender, and I'm just going to allow things to just flow and know that I am being guided and know that I am being protected. And that's how it was for that surgery, right? And the cool thing about it, the way I look at it, is like, I much rather have like the guidance and the protection from our spiritual beings than any human, even though we're all souls, but you know what I mean? We operating as humans, right? Because yes, there were humans that were operating on me, but I called in protection over them. I also said that I wanted to do a little bit of traveling while I was in La La Land with that anesthesia. And if I did, I don't remember. So maybe it'll pop up later if I did travel, somewhere else, or any other things were given to me. I also asked for some of my gifts that I know that are ready to be birthed or ready to emerge. I asked for those to be brought up to the surface to be able to come out. So we shall see how that works or worked or whatever. But yeah, I really just wanted to get on here again and just give you guys just an update on, my surgery, but also just kind of just let you know about the surrendering. And the reason why I wanted to tie that in is because I've been having a lot of people who are saying like they just want to just like surrender, but they're having the hardest time because they're still trying to control everything. But control is an illusion. Control is an illusion, and we end up not controlling anything, and that thing ends up controlling us because we are giving our power away. And once we give our power away, it's like, what the heck, right? Right? You start to feel so off, and we really need to snatch that back. And when we snatch that back, that's when we're going to just surrender and just allow things to unfold. And don't worry about the how and all of that, because it's really none of our business. Just trust that everything is happening for our highest good, right? And also, I want you guys to remember that in order to heal, we must feel. And that comes from the physical aspect as well. And I'm not telling you guys don't take any medicine. I'm not telling you guys, don't take any medicine at all. Because that's your own personal, preference. I'm just saying, even with the physical part, we need to be able to feel that feeling and see where that is, what else is tied to that, what emotions is tied to that, right? Same thing with me with my shoulder. I know the shoulder represents the weight that we carry on. Sometimes there's these burdens, and the burdens aren't even ours. So I know for me, with me feeling this pain, yes, they had to go in and do the little manipulating, of my shoulder and everything. But now that I am feeling this, how can I help to heal myself? Because everything that's external is tied to a internal, so the metaphysical part. So where is that aspect that I need to also do my part alongside with the surgeons to be able to heal that. So as I'm feeling this pain and I'm placing my hand over it and I'm literally talking to myself, talking to my body, which is me, and talking to my body, and I'm saying, like, I feel you. I feel you. And now I want to hear you. Like, what's going on? Where is the area? What is it that I need to let go of, right? And as I'm feeling that pain and I have my hand on there and I'm saying, I feel you, I hear you, what do I need to let go of? I'm paying attention to even more of the emotions that are coming up and also to certain things that is popping up. So now I know how to do my part alongside, right? And to be able to really heal. Definitely want to give a shout out to my mom, who, this is where I'm staying, who has been helping me a lot, making like my food, bringing it to me like one of her home care clients. And also to a lot of my listeners, a lot of you guys that did know about it. I had woke up to so many messages. I didn't even fool with my phone that first day, only to like late that night, a couple of people maybe. So I'm still even getting back to people. I've had a lot of DMs and a lot of messages on my cell phone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so supported and loved. So I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys rock. I am alive. I am pretty much well. I am in a lot of pain, but I am pushing through it. But I still wanted to just get on here and just to talk to you guys and update you guys. Yeah, and honestly, I would love to give you guys more, but to be honest, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me, but I will be back pretty soon. So take care, guys. Thanks for tuning in to #certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram @itistisha. And if you want to be a part of the #certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in #certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.